Hi, Colby here. All suited up, ready to go to war yet again against a team of attorneys that just won't see things my way. Now that team of attorneys, 4 or 5, which I'm about to face, are getting paid between $500 and $750 an hour to be advocates. So what does that mean? That means no matter what logic says, no matter what you tell them, no matter what happens, they just aren't going to agree. They're paid not to agree, actually. And that's how they make their money. Every time they argue with you, they get paid for a quarter of an hour. Every time they continue to extend the longevity of the lawsuit, every time they extend the length of time for the lawsuit, they win. The defense wants to take a simple story and try to put all sorts of complexities, all sorts of issues, point out the little smallest detail. When we're looking at a mountain, they will point to the base where just a little flower is and say, look at that flower. They know that confusion, obfuscation, lack of clarity favors them. They know that billions have been spent in order to make the term frivolous lawsuit forefront on everyone's mind. And they know all they have to do is to keep throwing bombs, and even if they're not true, and even if they don't hit, and even if they know that is not the case, they will still do it anyways. Because they get paid by the hour, just like a McDonald's employee, to take something and give something. They might think themselves all high and mighty, but in reality, they're just a shill working for a corporation who would rather pay $4,000 an hour than do what's right. And if there weren't people around here to make them fight and to tell them, no, this is not right, then they would just do it. And that's the world we live in. A world where every decision, every calculation is driven by money. If they figure out that they can do something wrong and they will make this much money, and it will cost them this much money in lawyers and lawsuits, what do you think they're going to do? The lawyers they hand their cases off are never going to tell them, oh, you're wrong. I don't want to take your hourly money, sir. You're wrong. No. And no matter how obvious it is, getting paid $750 an hour makes you sure find a lot of reasons why what you're doing is right. Self-justifications. Now, I know all this because I used to be those guys. I used to be the guy they would call in on the big cases, whether you had a grandmother or a bus full of nuns. I was the guy to make it go away. And after years of doing that, I couldn't do it. I couldn't live with myself. I was so good that I was taking money away from people who legitimately deserved it. And I didn't beat them with the facts. I just beat them because I was a better lawyer. And that's not fair. I saw plaintiffs' lawyers that I went up against putting in very little time to prepare their clients, prepare their cases. I saw great cases not being followed through on, not being investigated, not being adequately prosecuted. And the defense lawyer has a leg up. We live in a state where almost every single decision goes against the plaintiff lawyers at the Supreme Court, where trial lawyers is a dirty word. We are trained and taught that if we get rid of these trial lawyers and frivolous lawsuits, that our insurance, that society will somehow be better. If we limit the ability for people to sue, then everyone else will be fine. And they've been saying that since the 70s. And every decade, they close that courtroom door just a little bit more, making it harder for the average person to get in, making it harder for lawyers to bring their clients' cases all the way to trial. I grew up not with the side of people who had knowledge, who had means, who had people they could talk to. I grew up in a world where people didn't go to college. People thought lawyers were magical. They could make you say things that were not true. And that you shouldn't even try to fight because you're not going to win. I still believe that there is room in this world for people who care, for people to stand up and fight for what's right, and not necessarily because it's popular, not necessarily because people at the country club are going to give you an attaboy, or because you're going to get your name in the paper, or because you're going to put it on your social media, or because you're going to make a lot of money. No, we do things because they are right. We fight because that is what we do. People have been taken advantage of. People have been pushed down. People have been told they don't matter. People have been bamboozled, hog swindled, lied to. Are you tired? Are you tired of people taking advantage of you? Are you tired of being told that you're not as important, that your thoughts, your pain, your problems don't matter? Me too. That's why I'm here to fight. And we fight. We fight hard. Because we believe in what we do.